Welcome to the Adaptive Minds Podcast. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Adaptive Minds Podcast. It is Friday, January 18th, 2009, and it is the start of a beautiful 3-day weekend. Lots of stuff going on, lots of stuff in motion. Pretty excited about what's coming up this week. It's going to be a good time. It really is. I love 3-day weekends. Be even better if it was a 4-day weekend, but what are you going to do? So today, I've been meaning to talk about this for a while, but I wanted to kind of do a little discussion on the movie Bird Box since it kind of been blowing up all over, pretty much everywhere because of the Bird Box Challenge and just the hype that Netflix has built around this. So I'm going to be talking about this, and I also want to kind of compare it to A Quiet Place, which came out probably 6 months ago now, which was a pretty interesting movie too. So let's get into this. All right, so I should probably start with actually A Quiet Place since it came out first. Now, A Quiet Place, I thought was an interesting movie. Some people don't know, but I used to work at a movie theater, and that I used to get free movie tickets. So my opinion, I thought on movies was very skewed because I never had to pay for them. So that really plays a big factor because you're like, would you really pay $15 to go see that? You know, so that was always my issue with reviewing movies, but it's a little different now. So I saw A Quiet Place, I want to say opening weekend, and I didn't know anything about it going into it. Now that I think about it, I kind of knew a little bit of the premise, but I just knew John Krasinski was in it, and that's why I kind of wanted to see it because, you know, big fan of The Office. So figured, hey, funny role. He's going to be kind of serious like he did, and I think it was 13 hours, or I think that's the movie he was in. But he nailed that, so I figured this he can probably nail too. And I guess he wrote this as well, and originally it was supposed to be another lady who played his wife, but once Emily Blunt read the script, she realized that no one else could play it but her, so that's why she opted to be in it. And I think she did a very good job based off of the interesting premise that this movie brought. So very interesting idea to have something come here and you can't make a sound. So you start off like 40 days in the movie into the apocalypse already, so you don't really see like all the chaos that happens like you do in Bird Box. So that's what's kind of cool about Bird Box. But this is basically you're thrown in already. They have some kids. They're traveling to go get some supplies, which I always think is such a cool part of any, I wouldn't say it's like horror, but any sort of scary movie or thriller. I think the whole factor of trying to keep it like, what would happen if this really happened? You know, it's not so much like Hollywood's take on it or just making things too easy. I want to see like the raw footage. I want to see them really going in and trying to survive if something like this happened. Because I think that's the biggest fun for us fans or us viewers to see it, because you almost want to put yourself in that position. Like, what would you do? Could you survive? You know, so that's why when they're going to get some supplies, I'm like, that is cool, you know, and you kind of get the eerie feel that, you know, they have to be quiet and things like that. So it's very interesting that it's obviously an alien, because nothing that already exists on Earth would, you know, attack anything that gives noise. So that's basically what happens is these aliens come here and they're trying to ridicule and get rid of anything that makes noise so that they can come here and inhabit the Earth. I guess that's the main thing, or the main mission that these aliens, if you will, have to do. So I mean, that's pretty cool. You know, it's not like the just traditional alien stuff come down and kill everyone. That kind of puts a weird spin of not being able to make a noise. So man, it's pretty interesting. Like, it showed him already learning sign language. I'm wondering how quick you could pick that up, because that doesn't seem like something you could easily self-teach yourself, you know, especially if an apocalypse is coming, because again, I don't think you don't see anything going on. It just are already thrown into this. So it makes you wonder, like, what happened, you know, like how fast did people start getting wiped out by these things? Like, it's very interesting. And another thing is that they're in like this farmland, so they're kind of away from people, but there are still other groups of people out. but it's like they're already so secluded that you don't. It's kind of unfortunate now I think about that. You didn't get to see the whole apocalypse part take over, because that'd be pretty interesting. Because are these things just slaughtering anything that makes money? People are screaming like, that's an interesting fact. Maybe that's why they left it out, because it'd have been too much. But so yeah, they're going to get some supplies and they're doing basic survival stuff, which is like I said, very cool. And then I'm not going to go through every detail, but basically the kid dies because he makes a noise with a toy. But I think that's kind of the parents' fault, because why the hell was the little boy the last in the group in the line of them? Like, that was kind of dumb on their part. If this was actually happening, you think that they would be a little bit more cautious, and another thing I thought that was weird is that these aliens are completely blind. Like, they only attack things that make noise. So there's a scene where the girl is like just laying there and it's like walking right behind her, but it doesn't see her because she doesn't make a noise. I'm like, they really can't see anything, So like, how the hell did they get here? How do they fly here if they can't see anything? That I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. If they're really they don't even have just shitty eyes. I guess they just can't see anything. I don't know. They probably don't even have eyes. So I thought, how the hell did they navigate here with That's very interesting. But again, it's cool. I guess it's different. Again, I can't think of a movie where the characters couldn't make a noise. And I don't know. These things the hearing was so good on these things that they could just hear any minuscule sound, which, really, they could hear everything, and I don't get how they could just travel so fast too. Like, in the scene with the little boy, that thing's going off for 5 to 10 seconds, and they're already there to eat him. Like, how did they move so fast? And I guess there's more than one of them, as you learned during the movie, but I don't know. That was, I think, a flaw in my mind. But overall, I think it was super cool. I kind of wish it was more in the city, though, because that would be, have some more interesting factors to play to it. John Krasinski, he does a great, father figure role, and there's a big epiphany or bonding moment with a daughter who they don't really get along, but in the middle when he dies, it's very symbolic and stuff like that. So that was very cool. Did he have to die? I don't think so. I think he could have survived, but it made for a good movie at that part. They kind of left it off where I guess there won't be another one because, again, they guess kill them all. You don't really see. It's kind of one of those endings where you're like, huh. They learn how they learn the weakness of this, and then they kill one of them, but apparently there's a bunch more. So they kind of it almost seems like they cut it off and didn't leave it for anything else, unfortunately. But I think it's a cool enough premise to have built upon, or use the same, which I'm sure they will, the same sort of alien to attack somewhere else. And again, the no noise is such a cool factor. It's so different. So I hope they kind of build onto it. I don't think this group of characters will, but again, I think they'll build on with this type of alien. So now Bird Box, again, but this one I didn't know much about. Everyone was talking about Bird Box, and it was on Netflix, and I actually just clicked it on just to see. And the first 5 minutes was interesting. The first 10 minutes it got a little more interesting, but around the first 15 minutes, I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting to watch, where I wanted to keep watching. It kind of gripped me because, again, I didn't know anything about it. Just people were talking about it, so I was like, I gotta check this out. But it actually captured me in, and Sandra Bullock's such a great actress, so that was cool to have her in that. Big ups to Netflix for Netflix only movie. I mean, that's a big one right there. So the movie kind of, it had some flaws. Again, any movie's gonna have flaws, but I think that they could have went a different direction, but I guess this is based off of a book, so I'm sure the book is way better. I mean, I bet you it doesn't even compare to the movie. Um, so it's such a cool idea too, but it's just a little far fetched. I think this one should have been placed in more in the woods than in a town because not being able to see, and there's a scene with them driving around. That seemed a little far fetched to me. They, I'm kind of jumping ahead, but basically they get in the car, and again they have to do survival shit, which I like. I really do. So they have to basically attempt to go to the store because they're running out of supplies in their house. I've skipped so much, but I'm not. I don't want to break down every second of this. So the main characters have to go to the store to get some more supplies. They get in this Jeep. They're driving. They get all the windows covered because you can't see anything. Well, again, you can look out, but if you see whatever this is, it makes you. Apparently, it makes anyone who was happy makes them kill themselves, and anyone who's depressed or sad already, it makes them want to harm others. So kind of a cool little twist. But anyway, they're driving to the store, and they're using the parking or the sensors on the car to kind of guide them how to steer and drive, which seemed really far fetched to me. But I guess if you got to get to the store, you got to attempt to get there, But I don't know. And it's one of those things like, how long is the power going to stay on? How long are you going to have internet? How long is the GPS going to work? Like that kind of shit always plays a factor. But it play a factor in real life, but in the movies it never plays a factor. So they get they drive to the store, which I think would be the hardest feat because you can't see. It's like, how do you survive not being able to see? And I've been talking to a lot of people about this. I've been saying, what would be worse, to not be able to make a noise or not be able to see? And for some stupid reason, I was thinking it'd be better to not see, but I actually don't think that's true now. After thinking through everything, I think that's the worst one. You could, definitely adjust to not making noise, but to not being able to see, I mean, that is so hindering to being able to survive. That is so limiting. So it is definitely worse to not see. So again, I'm very curious to read the book as to know like what these people could do to survive with helping them see. Like, you definitely need a lot of, or you need to get to somewhere that has a lot of supplies, because traveling is not easy. And a lot of people thought that the whole boat scene was a little far-fetched, navigating through the waters to get to this bird sanctuary, this school for the blind. Anyway, that seems super far-fetched because not being able to see, like, there's no way she would be able to float down the river for that long. But definitely a cool twist, the not being able to see, and they did a really good job building these characters up, even though some of them who I wish stayed longer, I thought played really good roles. Like the guy who actually worked at the supermarket, I thought he could have been a better character, but they kind of ended him off pretty quick. And then these two, like, this couple end up leaving and stealing the Jeep, and you never see from them or hear from them. So I was like, that's kind of weird because you kind of build these people up a little bit, and then they just run away, and then you never, figure out what the hell is going on with them. That made no sense to me. They should have had some at least closure with that. So there was a few things like that I thought they could have did better on, but overall I thought it was a pretty decent movie. And like I said earlier, a big ups to Netflix for putting this on because it's getting a lot of buzz and a lot of hype. So especially for a horror movie, But I think Quiet Place had more like critics vouching for it. But again, that's because it was in the theaters, and this was just released on Netflix. So fascinating, just put it that way. Sipping on some good tea to wind down my Friday night. But it was a cool movie. I mean, I'm not gonna hate on it, but it was it had some problems, like I said, all movies do. So I think someone I was reading that said that maybe they're gonna make a second one, but they really end it end this journey of Sandra Bullock's character pretty well. So I would be very interesting to how they would grow that. You know, it this movie in particular, I thought did a great job showing what happens to other parts of the world, because in a lot of horror movies it only speculate or it only shows where the main characters are and things like that. This did a good job of showing this thing infecting other parts before making itself here. I thought that was pretty cool. I think, or I would hope that they would build off, since it's getting so much hype. Usually things that get so much hype, they make a second one or spin off. I think they should try to elaborate on this. I don't know if there's more than I should probably look it up. I don't think there's another book, more than one book. Let's see, Bird Box, a novel. Oh yeah, she only calls them boy and girl because she has some issues with herself, so she doesn't want to get connected to these kids. Who one of them is hers, the other one is not. So she doesn't name them, which it makes you like, why the hell did she do that? But at the end of the movie, it does a really good job of wrapping it up. Only 272 pages in the actual book. I wonder how in depth it can go then, because it's kind of limited with the no eyes, First review: thrilling read, but leaves something to be desired. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know if they will build off it, but I think they should. It's kind of a very cool, concept. I think I would rather be alive in the Quiet Place era, or than not being able to see, because it's so limiting. Like, it's pretty ridiculous. It is so limiting to not be able to see anything outside. Again, it traps you. Straight traps you to such a small area. And that's, again, why it's called Bird Box. The whole, she's trapped like the 3 birds in her, that she has. That's another good thing. How the hell did these birds detect when or kind of where this thing was? I don't think they explain that, or it just happens. How the hell the birds understand, and why the hell there were just birds in the supermarket? I've never been to a supermarket that just has birds by the register. That seems odd to me, but I could be wrong. Maybe there's some supermarkets that have birds as pets. I don't know what that. Maybe the book will explain, but apparently, let's look that up. How did how did the birds survive in Bird Box? How did the birds detect the I guess alien? Let's see what this has to say. A lot of people were bugged that it didn't show the whatever the hell it is. I can't even call it anything because no one knows what the hell it is. The only closest thing you see is the creepy ass drawings that this dude did, which shows a lot of things. So, I mean, what the hell could you look at that makes you kill yourself? What the hell would you have to see? That's so interesting to me. What are you looking at? Let's see. Why don't the monsters attack us? What are the creatures? What's with the birds? It says, oh, that's interesting. Birds seem to be the only animals left alive. Well, it was taking place in a town, so you wouldn't really see many animals. Yeah, they should not have survived that water drop because they're trapped in a box that gets flooded. Another good question for this movie is, how many of those things were there? I mean, enough, things are. It's so hard. Like, what the hell? What was it? Enough objects that people saw where it's affected the entire world. It says miners have used birds almost since the beginning to determine the safety of the mine. If the bird goes silent or worse yet, dies, the air has been compromised. The miners should escape ASAP. That kind of makes sense. A group of crows is called a murder. And who's not familiar with Edgar Allan Poe the Raven? Yeah, see, I don't think they ever said how the birds somehow detected that these things were around. You know, and I wonder if the author wrote and was like, if I just have a kill, if everyone kills themselves, that's kind of a one-way street for a storyline. But if I make half the people or more than half the people that are depressed want to try to affect or let other people see, it gives me more content to write. That's a kind of interesting point, you know, because imagine if everyone just killed themselves, you know. It's way different. It's way creepier when there's these people coming around and trying to make you see, you know. That was a little interesting. But I don't know. I definitely should probably read the book now just to compare apples to apples, you know. And I feel like Quiet Place should be a book, you know, because again, it's kind of a cool storyline. But how do you? I don't think you could write a book about it now. You're just stealing the idea, you know. Oh god, it's kind of funny. Oh well, but both these movies are fun to watch, I should say. If I were to pick a favorite one, it'd be tough. They're pretty tied, in my opinion. They both had their flaws, but they both were very, decent in their own ways. So, if I had to pick, I'd probably say A Quiet Place was better, just because of the family aspect was pretty cool, but the deaf chick, that was pretty cool, with her, her earpiece being, what makes them realize what hurts them. That was kind of a cool thing, and the fact that these could be stopped, they learn the weakness, kind of cool. With the Bird Box, you just never see it, and now these people are just gonna try to live at this blind school with a bunch of people surrounded by birds. Are they gonna run out of supplies? What's gonna happen here? How long are they gonna be able to live at that place? Maybe that's what Bird Box 2 is gonna be about. I don't know. We'll see. But they kind of just cut it off, like I said. But I hope they do something, or another adaptation or something like that, because I feel like some things were a little left out, So, but that's kind of with everything. Like I keep saying, every movie has its pros, cons. But it is a beautiful Friday night. I almost said, oh my God, Saturday. Beautiful Friday night. We have a very good UFC fight tomorrow. It is UFC Brooklyn with Dillashaw versus Cejudo for the flyweight top. Man, 125. That's a lightweight. I mean, geez. So that'll be good. We got Paige Van Zandt coming back. We got Cowboy Cerrone already hopping back in the ring. He just fought really recently. So that'll be fun to watch on the new ESPN Plus, which I don't even know what channel that is yet. I don't know. It's UFC's new thing since they're no longer with Fox. Let's look that up real quick. What channel is ESPN Plus on Dish? Channel 140. Okay. I'm going to need to know that for tomorrow. Man, there's some interesting stuff happening in the UFC right now. This is going to be a good fight. Garbrandt's coming back. John Jones, he's fighting again in March. I really thought they were going to do Cormier 3, but I guess not. I didn't realize Daniel Cormier is 40 years old. I mean, he's getting up there, man. How much longer is he going to be in the ring, And then what the hell is going to go on with Khabib? I think he should go up and fight at 170. That would be pretty interesting to see him fight Tyron Woodley, Yoel Romero. I mean, man, that's a whole different ball game. But we'll see what he does. If he can even fight again, who knows? I want to see T. Ferguson back in the ring. Even him versus Khabib would be a fun fight to watch. I heard that McGregor and Khabib 2's being in the talks right now, but man, I don't know. Does that need a rematch? I don't know. It wasn't even close. That's been my standard lately. Is did he rematch? Was it even close? Is there a reason for this rematch? Like the Amanda Nunes versus Cyborg. I mean, that was an absolute ass whooping on Amanda Nunes' part. Just stomped down Cyborg, and now everyone's like she should get an immediate rematch. It's like, but she just got the shit beat out of her so fast. I think it was like 58 seconds this time. I mean, Jesus, it wasn't even close. Like, why does she need an immediate rematch? But I think the problem with Amanda Nunes now is who is gonna fight her. I mean, she is so dominant in the women division. Who is gonna fight her? So maybe that's why they have to do the rematch, because there's nothing else. Even Cyborg, she is so good too. Like, no one they just smashed all their opponents. It's like, who could they need to start fighting with the boys, I guess. Which is crazy that they fought at 145. Was it? I think it was 145, which is 20 pounds heavier than what Dillashaw and Cejudo are fighting. Like, that is crazy. Some beefy ass women, but they're the best, and they are. Man, just double champ now. That's the thing now. Just double champ. Dillashaw wins tomorrow, double champ. It's like, but then they have to forfeit one of the belts. Like, okay, well, I guess that was cool, But we'll see. But besides that, like I said, 3-day weekend. Got some fun stuff planned this weekend. Looking forward to it. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Feels good to be back on here talking. I was supposed to record last weekend, but something came up. I don't remember what it was. What the hell came up? I don't know. I still probably should have squeezed it in, but it's okay. I got it out today, and I'll probably do another one tomorrow talking about the UFC fights that are going to be happening. Hopefully, maybe I'll do it live again. Do a live broadcast and chit-chat. Either way. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to the Adaptive Minds podcast, and I will talk to you guys later.